3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
It's Monday. It's Monday. It really is. 7 o'clock. And that can mean only one thing. It's time for Reading the Signs, where me, Comedy John Ryan, and my comedian pals from all over the world are going to be talking about comedy, well-being, why we do it, how we cope. And that's where we need your help. We need you to send us your top tips for well-being. Be part of the show. Drop a comment in the box on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on the mensradiostation.com website. It's going to be a great show, much better than last week. What we're trying to do is think exceptional, which, funnily enough, is the motto of WJ, our show sponsors. WJ are the UK's leading road marking and highway maintenance company. They're working with us, we're working with you. Let's get to it. Well, good evening. Welcome along to Reading the Signs with me, Calamity John Ryan. Never mind, Comedy John Ryan. Hope you guys were all right. What have you been up to all week? Let's hope that you've had a good week. For some reason, I'm unable to get my camera to work, so I don't know what's going on there. But we'll work our way around it. Don't you worry about that. We'll get through that. There you go. There I am. Brilliant. I'm even wearing my lucky green t-shirt. Not very lucky tonight, though, is it? Thank you guys so much for your patience and for coming along to listen. We have got a fantastic show tonight for you guys. We've got Kane Brown. Kane is a phenomenally funny guy. Really exceptionally talented comedian. Really nice guy. Just all round good bloke. Good egg, I think they would call him in the old days. Let's hope we can get him to come along to the studio. I have sent him an invite. We had to restart the show. I'll get sacked one of these days, I know it. How's your week been? Tell us what you've been up to. How have you coped? How have you survived? What's been going on? What you've been doing? We've had lots and lots of interesting stuff. Lots of messages come through from people who have watched and listened to the show. So thank you if you are one of those people. Much appreciated. I appreciate all your support and all your help. It's always good to know that there are people who are going to, want to take part and be part of the movement to get well-being talked about, spoken about, and to get us all on the right team, trying to help people. Because as we know, people who have mental health issues, and it could be you, could be me, could be any of us at any stage, they need help. They need to know that we're there for them. They need to know that we're going to support them. They need to know that we care. So one of the things we can do is show that, and one of the ways we do that is by just talking, getting the conversation going, getting the dialogue going. As always, we're looking for your top tips for well-being. We're looking for any suggestions you've got, where we want to know how you survive, how you cope, what it is that you do that works for you. Because if it works for you, it could well work for anybody else. So do please join the conversation. Let us know how you're getting on. Let us know what you do to help you get through it all. When you do suffer, if you do have problems, very often people feel they suffer on their own. So it's really important to me and to all of us here at Men's Radio Station that you feel connected, that you feel able to take part. And it's always really good to know that you're... Okay, sorry, I just got a message here from Kane that he's trying to sort his link out as well. It's always good to know that you're part of a bigger community, and we are a community that is growing stronger by the day, that's growing more powerful. I've make it quite clear, I am not a clinician. I am not a consultant or practitioner. I'm not medically trained. I've got good intentions. I'm mental health, first aid qualified. I have worked in community care. I've also been doing work in this kind of area for the last 15 to 20 years. So I do know what I'm talking about, but I'm always willing to learn. And that's where you guys come in. If you can let me know that you are, that you're there, that you're part of it, and that you're willing to take part in the dialogue and the conversations. So what I'm looking for are your top tips for well-being. It'd be great if you could let me know your favorite joke or something funny that's happened to you this week. Just kind of, I don't mind sitting here. I'm quite happy to chat away. Obviously, it's always better if there are people to talk to. So this week we had Father's Day. Father's Day yesterday. If you're a dad, let me know. Did you get any interesting gifts? Did you get ignored? Did you get treated? Did you feel special? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel like anyone cares or that you're on your own? Because it's hard. It's a hard job being a dad. And it's very difficult, especially in this day and age, for guys to admit that they're finding it hard. And that's one of the things that we're trying to challenge. It's one of the things that we're hoping to kind of normalize. We want everyone to think that no matter how hard your life is, if you're not on your own, if you've got people there with you to help, it's always going to make life a little bit easier. So we're looking for your top jokes. We'll start with, I'll start with a few that I've been sent. So do let me know what you think. I'm not going to say that they're all going to be great jokes, but what do you call a factory that makes products that are okay? A satisfactory. Come on, give us a go. Give us a chance here. It's tough crowd, mate. Tough crowd. I can't believe I got fired for mucking about in a calendar factory. All I did was take one day off. Okay, not the best joke that you've ever heard in your life. They could get better. They could get worse. I don't really know. But let me know what you think. We are here tonight hoping that Kane Brown is going to join us at some stage. I'm still trying to work out the gremlins in the background. If you are out there and you can hear me and see me, then do please let me know. I've got a couple of little thumbs up. But it'd be nice to get a little message or two from people just to know that I'm not sitting here in my lucky T-shirt talking to myself. So while we're waiting for Kane to come on, I thought I'd ask a couple of questions for people to think about. One is, thank you, Ross. Thank you for letting me know that somebody's out there listening. Another bizarre one. We'll have to talk about this tomorrow. Very strange start. In the comments box, we have my little producer, the love of my life, Natasha Donovan, will be commenting. So Russ, say hello to Tash. Tash, say hello to Russ. Be great. Thank you, Russ. We are looking for your top tips on well-being, your best jokes, and anything else that's happened. I had quite an amazing week last week. Because of lockdown, I haven't really done a lot of face-to-face work. And when you're face-to-face, it's always better. Comedy, it's like your love life, basically. It's always going to be better if you are near the person that you're doing it with. So it's always good to have people close to you, the closer the better. And it's always good to be able to see faces and hear voices and get some kind of validation for what you're doing. Talking about well-being is a very, very difficult subject for people at the best of times. So like I say, face-to-face, always good to do it. I started last week by doing some talks at a university. That was really interesting. Edinburgh University, fantastic bunch. They were very, very keen and very receptive to the messages, which was good. I also did stuff for the NHS and for a manufacturing company. But the one thing that was common to all of these places was the fact that they all were willing to engage and join in the conversation about well-being, which is all we're trying to do, get people talking. Hopefully, with that in mind, we will now be able to get Kane Brown onto the show. I believe he's in the waiting room. He is sitting there. Can I ask everybody to have a little welcome to the Fabulous? Can I call you Fabulous, bro?
You can call me what you want, bro.
They're awesome. They're amazing. Incredible. But very hairy, actually. Very hairy.
I know. I'm great.
You look like one of them Guess Who pictures.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. You started off, man.
You took it like, yeah, whatever. You took it as a compliment and you've moved it forward. That's you're a classy man. That's what you do best.
Yeah, so I'll let it grow. The grey showing through now a bit more, so.
You're going for that kind of wily, wise, kind of Danny Glover look. That's what it is.
You know, in the black community, that's a diss, isn't it? I'm just letting you know.
What is?
Danny Glover.
Mate.
You cannot use that, man. Listen.
Go on, get to it. Go on.
You could have said, if there's any black people listening or watching now.
Go on.
Everybody knows Danny Glover, Morgan Freeman, those two people are a diss. Even if you're just comparing grey, that is it. But
okay, how about this one? How about this one then? Andy Peters.
That's a diss.
Mate, what are you doing to me?
Ainsley Harriott. That's a diss.
Ainge, all right. Rusty Lee. Do you see, mate? all right. Mika Richards.
Yeah, he's cool. He's good. All right,
Not, mate.
I'll take
he
that.
will cause uproar amongst my friends. I don't mess around with my words. I choose my words wisely. It's always funny though, isn't it, when you see your friends maturing, because you don't age, mate. You don't age.
Yeah, I mean, if I shave it, I'll go back to what I was 10 years ago. But
even if you keep it on, you still look as young as you did 10 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, you look like one of those Snapchat filters. You look like you got one of them permanently on you. Someone walking 20 yards ahead of you with a Snapchat kind of lens on you.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Now, you're trying to bring it back now because of Danny Glover.
I'm getting there. Mate, listen, wrong is what I do best, man. Wrong is what I do best. And, if I don't need reminding, I did a gig last night and it was the first gig I've done since this new lockdown ended. And I was kind of thinking, oh, what can I say? What can't I say? What must I say? And it was like, and I needed like a A4 pad with acceptable terminology on it before I even started.
What I've been doing is just doing me, and it's worked because I think people are just open for funny now. I know it seems a bit weird because we're in a time now where they seem less tolerant of certain language and certain conversations. But because people want to have fun now, I think that's kind of overriding it at the moment. Whether that's going to flip, I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, though, because like they were socially distanced. Everyone was kind of sat, table service. That was nice and civilized. But it was just interesting for me because I was thinking, like, comedy's about freedom, movement, saying what you want, just putting it out there, getting it out there, and no fear. Like you would just say whatever comes into your head so many times. Do you feel restricted more now after lockdown?
No. You know what's crazy, right? I actually feel freer.
Okay. Why is that?
Because I would say the last lockdown really got to me in the beginning.
Okay.
And I don't know where it came from because I wasn't feeling extra stressed. Obviously, money is a factor, but I wasn't under financial pressure, as in I didn't have money for anything. So I don't know where it came from. And I started to kind of just spiral a bit. And I had to catch myself and say, right, okay. I mean, I'd stopped. Gyms were closed, obviously.
Well, how would I know that?
Well, yeah, you would.
Unless it's got like a Costa coffee on the ground floor. I ain't got a clue.
Yeah, so that's one of my go-to things. If I keep my mind in shape and keep my body in shape, then everything else normally follows because it's like, right, okay, I'm eating well, I'm drinking loads of water, I'm going gym. And that was one of the things that was taken away from me. And I found myself, you couldn't ride because it was raining a lot outside. And it kind of just kind of got to me a lot. And then so now we've opened back up and we're able to come out and for us to go back to work, I'm actually feeling like, do you know what? I appreciate what I do. I love what I do. And as long as you can say things with honesty, I feel like audiences kind of gravitate towards that rather than saying, pick those people that are sitting there waiting for you to say something that they don't like. There's going to always be those people. But I feel that there are a lot of people there that are prepared to listen. And I know it sounds a bit mad, but the Black Lives Matter movement, that's allowed me a little bit more freedom on stage as well. People,
how's that come about?
Because I feel like everybody feels, it's not even just like, I don't know if it's guilt, I don't know what it is, but audiences that are predominantly white, I feel like I can get away with a little bit more now.
Mate, you could get away with anything from the day I met you. So what else you think, like, apart from killing people on stage and get away with it?
No, but as in, I feel like I can. What's really weird is I've done a few shows, and I felt as if I've not even actually gone too far with things. But what I have done, I've really assimilated with the room really well. I've read the room right and got the energy right because obviously it's still socially distanced in there. So you're trying to bring these different groups together. Some people were on their phones because they were ordering drinks for their table. Some people were, they felt disjointed. So I saw them when the host was on, they were talking. But when I came on, I put out all the fires first, got everybody in as like one group. and then I could do what I needed to do. So I'm feeling as if I'm more in tune with the audience, so I can do what I want, and it's being taken in the correct vein.
But do you feel then, like, I mean, obviously we normally build up to these kind of big conversations, but you know what, it's me and you, we can do this. Do you think that there's been a change in the audience reaction to black performers then because of the Black Lives Matter thing? Or
Yeah, I feel like there's I feel like there has been, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. I feel like there's definitely something there where, I mean, look, I do mostly mainstream gigs anyway, and I always have done, and I've always had a good reception. But what I will say is that there are people, I don't even know if it's Black Lives Matter or whether it's to do with that, but people are coming out to try and have a good time, to have a laugh, to be respectful. Obviously, if you do a gig at a certain time with stags or hens, which is not really happening now, that's still going to be rowdy. But most of all, it's been families or couples coming out, and they just want to have a good time. And it's been good.
do you feel then that like, so as a black performer, do you think, like, do you think you get a different reception in front of a white audience than you do in front of a black audience?
Yeah, black audiences, man, they're so honest. the vibe is honest, and there's no ulterior motive to their honesty. It's not it's nothing to do with maybe how you dress or what their preconceived idea is of you. It's always to do with, are you making me laugh? Are you doing your job? Are you not doing your job? And you know, if they love you, they love you. If they don't like you, you know about it. They're not going to be polite and just sit down and just be like, oh yeah, he's trying. There's no.
He's trying.
Yeah, I try. Leave him. Mm-hmm.
Oh, bless. Yeah. It's funny because, you know, for people listening who don't realise, there is a thriving urban circuit. I think they used to call it before Black Lives Matter. I don't know what it's called now. Is it a BAME circuit? Is it what is it? Service People of Colour circuit? Is it a Danny Glover circuit? What is it? I don't know.
It's the black circuit.
You can't. Can we say that? Can we say black circuit?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay.
In America, it's called the Chitlin circuit.
What's that?
Yeah, that's the black circuit in America. But yeah, it's the black circuit. Yeah.
But it's funny because you know, I do the black circuit, right? Yeah. And it's funny when you get white acts who haven't done a black gig before, and it's just funny where I remember. The last one I did was December 2019.
Yeah,
because just, you know, there ain't been that many gigs. But one of the other acts who was on said to me, "Like, you play these rooms a lot. What's the secret?" And I said, "Well, look, there's a lot of stereotypes about black people, and one of the stereotypes that they don't tell you is that they can be very conservative. Okay, so first of all, do not say the C word, right? Because you're going into their front room. Yeah. Just think of it like that, right? Yeah. Be a bit respectful. And when they like you, you can say anything you want. But you got to let them like you. So go on and be honest. Just go on and say, well, this is an unusual gig for me, if it is for you. Or, you know, this is my first time doing this kind of gig. Yeah. But what's really funny is, and Kojo will tell you this himself, right? Kojo is Ghetto Fabulous, I call him. We done, you can't walk down Ridley Road Market with him, man. He gets stopped like the Pope.
Yeah, he's East London's finest, man.
So the first time he came to do a gig on a mainstream circuit on a predominantly white audience, he said, "Oh, mate, I've not done a white gig before." And I said, "Well, what you remember about white people is that we've got a pulse like you have, and we want somewhere to live like you do, and we want work and security and comfort and love. Not too dissimilar to you. The only difference is you can say anything you want, and they won't. If they don't laugh, just tell them that they're being racist, and they'll feel so upset and scared and worried, they'll just then laugh."
The white guilt will get them every time.
It's hilarious, mate. Yeah, it's funny. Because the first or the second time I ever did an urban gig at a black gig at Hackney Empire, and one of the other, and I said, "Yeah, I'll go first, I don't mind." And one of the other acts, who I'll tell you about off screen, he said, "Listen, bro, let me tell you something. You know, you'll be all right. I do white gigs, and when I do a white gig, this is what I do. I'll go out, I look at the audience, then I say, just wait a minute. Then I take my phone out and I pretend to ring my manager, and I go, yeah, they're all white people. What should I do? All right, just do what I normally do. Okay. And then that breaks the ice. If
Yeah.
you want to use that, you can do that. And I said, listen, I really appreciate you telling me. Thank you for your support. And I just went out and said, Hackney, how you doing? Isn't it nice to be somewhere in Hackney that they ain't built a block of flats on yet? And everyone went, "Way!" That was it.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's exactly what you would have said, whether it was black or white.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's funny. What made you get into comedy in the first place, Kane? What was your start off?
It's mad. Do you know what's crazy? I've always loved comedy from when I was young. Always just loved comedy. Never thought about doing it at all. And then what happened was, my dad passed away. 17 years ago now, and he was a guy who risk averse. Like, he used to be a plasterer, did plastering for the council. That was his life. I said to him I was going to set up a business. Why we want to set up business for? You might lose money and it was all negative, doom, gloom. Just focus on what's guaranteed. That's all he was interested in. And I've never thought like that. My mum's never thought like that either. And so after he died, I thought, I can't live my life not trying things, because I don't know whether it's gonna work for me or whether it's not. You can't.
Uh-huh.
And so I just took the risk, and I did a comedy course in Camden. Keith Palmer, I don't know if you know.
Keith Palmer, okay,
yeah, from the comedy school.
Yeah.
I did a 7-week course there. Had a showcase at the end of it. Had to do 5 minutes, and that was it. I fell in love with comedy, like, for me doing it. And and that was 16 years ago.
How did your first gig go?
It was all right, Glenda was there, Glenda Jackson.
Okay.
She did they bring like a veteran comic to come.
A veteran? She will smash you up if she hears you say that, mate. 16 years ago, she was a veteran. What is she? I'm going to get her on as a guest just to see what she says.
Trust me, John, she was. Even then, Glenda's been doing it for
a long time.
20, probably 25 years now.
Yeah.
So it was a good gig. And I don't know. I had a bad relationship with my dad when I was growing up.
Okay.
And I think what you find a lot of is when you have a parent that you're always trying to please, you always keep trying to please them, because it's like, oh, look at me, I want approval, kind of thing. And I think it happens a lot to people who end up doing something where they're either caregivers or they give. So with me, it's laughter, and so that for me was my driving force. I love to give. I love to, and I didn't realize it, to be honest with you, until probably about 10 years ago. I was like, bloody hell, I wonder why I enjoy comedy so much. But it might have been that from my childhood.
But you're really renowned for being able to charm any room, mate. You know, so no, you are, man. Let's be honest. I've seen you. I remember once we did Bristol, and they were beating drums. They were like crazy, like some military audience, but even worse than that.
Yeah.
And you just went on, and whereas a lot of comics might go with loads of energy and go, "Rrr," you just went down and just looked around the room, and it went quiet. It just went quiet. You're not an aggressive man. You've never struck me as a violent man. But you just was like, when you're ready, guys. You was like a teacher. It's like watching a teacher.
Yeah. I think, do you know what's crazy? I used to do sales. That's what I did, first of all.
Ah, right. Okay.
So when I used to do sales, I got quite good. I only did it for about 3 years, but I got really good. I got a promotion within that time, went out to America to train some of their staff as well. And that was the biggest lesson I learned about human behavior, being able to read people, being able to read a room, being able to read a situation. And that's helped. So if I go into something, I think the first thing is just not to have any fear. It's not going to be perfect. Every situation is going to be different, but just to eliminate that fear factor, because that's what's going to hold you back. That's what's going to make them smell blood, and they're going to see, oh, he's not sure about himself. You know what audiences are like, John?
Yeah, they smell fear.
You can go out, and within 5 seconds, they don't like you, and they're going to disrespect you. They're going to talk over you. They're going to heckle you, and when it's like, all right, when you were at school, there were always teachers that might not necessarily be the most aggressive, but you know you couldn't really mess with them. You just knew. And you've never seen them hit a child. You've never necessarily heard them shout, but you knew there was either respect or there was a sense of authority that person had. And I feel like that's something that all good comics adopt. They've just got this sturdiness about them, you know, and being able to be in control of the room, because it's all eyes on you. The audience doesn't realize when you walk out, they're looking at one person. You're looking at like 2,000 people. And so your perspective of things is completely different to theirs. But you can't show them in your face or your body language that what you're seeing is different to them. Because once you get out and you're like, oh, there's 2,000 people, they don't see that. They only see one person. So they want to be confident in you. So, and they want you to feel like you're talking to them.
So when I did my first ever gig,
yeah,
I was only going to do a few gigs because, like you, I never wanted to be a comedian. It was, unlike you, sorry. It never occurred to me. It wasn't the sort of thing that I did, right?
Yeah.
In an Irish family, if you stand out, you get slapped down. So
yeah,
it's not good to draw attention to yourself. But the first gig I ever did was at the Purple Turtle in Islington, and it was a bear pit, proper bear pit. Oh. And these guys had heckled the previous acts off the stage. They was all nervous. And then I remember going on, and as soon as I went on, this bloke went, "Oh, you better be funny." And my first lines in comedy were, "There's two things I've never done in my life, mate. One is a stand-up comedy gig, and two, I've never stuck a microphone up someone's backside." At the end of tonight, I hope that I've only fulfilled one of those ambitions. Are you going to shut up? He went, "Carry on." That was it.
That was it.
And what I learned from that was, it's just a confidence trick.
And that's all it is, man. That is all it is. And the funny thing is, which a lot of comics don't realize for a while, is you go on with that confidence, you sell that confidence, then you become that confidence. If you don't sell that confidence, then you start doubting yourself because you're not getting the reaction you desire. People are starting to talk. You're starting to see all the problems rather than the solutions. You're starting to see all the problems. Your body language changes, your tone of your voice changes, you got no authority. And because you never sold yourself in the beginning. When people know your name, that's different. People are coming to see you. You're confident because you know there's 1,000 people here just to see John Ryan. I'm happy. Woo!
Yeah. I've always found that interesting because the only time people actually are there for me is when I do my men's health or my wellbeing shows. But I can remember doing Edinburgh, and there were 6 people who had been told by their mates to come see me, and it was just it was bizarre. They're like, "Oh yeah, my mate said you was funny," and they've met you at the door.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the time, you go on stage and you got to prove yourself.
Yes.
Prove yourself. But I remember when you decided to do Edinburgh, and I couldn't for the life of me understand what you're doing.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah, I had no idea why you did it. I remember even when you said you was doing it, me saying, "Save your money, mate. Just put your money down the toilet, flush it." But it made me a better performer. I'll find out about myself. I want to.
I'll be honest with you, John, and the only truth I took away from it. A lot of times, club comics, they have to make that transition from a club comic into a potential touring comic, and that doesn't normally come without the experience of doing an hour, writing an hour, performing an hour. You get practice 50, 60, 70 gigs for the month, that never happens. So by the time I came back from Edinburgh, I had a solid hour show that nobody had ever heard. And that's what it's really good for. It's good for just kind of condensing everything into a short space of time, working things out, and you learn a lot. Like you said, when you went to Edinburgh, sometimes you got a small audience in front of you. To be honest, I was very lucky when I went to Edinburgh. I got a good room. I was on anyway, the audience don't know where it is anyway, but it was a nice room. Like it was only held about 40 odd, but like it was comfortable seats, like a cinema type, padded seats that flipped down. There was a screen behind me. They had good light, good sound, and I to be honest, I packed it out every day. I came back and I made money, which most comics don't. Like I said, I used to do sales, so to get people in, I didn't find hard. I'd have my flyers. I'd be out there a couple hours before, flyer, selling, telling a couple of jokes. Oh yeah, this guy's funny. People come back, they remember you. And I had sold out shows for the whole run, pretty much. So I hear what you're saying, but for me, it did actually turn out all right.
I remember when I went up there, and I had a manager at the time who had all these dreams and ambitions and ideas for me. Me saying to him, "No, this is when I started doing stand up. I had no desire, whether I could have or not is another matter. But I had no desire to be that guy that was going to be on Mock the Week Out of 10 Cats touring. All that. That's not me. And I specifically went up there with a target, and that was to get noticed by the NHS, by private healthcare companies, by businesses. Right?
How was this?
This was in 2004.
Wow.
Yeah. And so then what I did was I won a little award, which I then put on all my market stuff. But I got a radio show out of it, a newspaper column out of it. And back then, I did it in a place called the Tron, if you remember the Tron.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And you could just basically take a bucket and ask people for whatever money they wanted, right? But you could, this was before bucket shows. And so I'd say to people in the queue when they're buying the tickets, well, it's 4 of you, just give me a tenner. If you like it, put another tenner in the bucket. If you don't, then don't. But what happened was people going, hang on, £10 for 4 of us. This guy's going to be rubbish, but it's only £2.50. All right, I'll do it. So my rooms were packed. And once my rooms were packed, other performers would see my packed rooms and think, well, how's this guy doing this? And then they got a bit of a buzz going, right? Yeah. And I put sell out on all my posters and all the rest of it, sold out. But then what happened was the following years, I got sponsored, right? And 1 year, my show was on, it was recommended in The Guardian, The Independent, Scotsman. I was on BBC Breakfast News for 2 days. Yeah. I was at a trade union rally with about 10,000 people at it. They mailed out to about 50,000 people on their membership list because it was a sponsored show. First night, 12 people. 12 people.
In a room, what's the capacity?
Well, that room held 110.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Oh. Honestly, it was cold. It was cold. And then you got the 12 people come up close and tight. That's fine. In a room full of 40, that's a quarter of the room. But in a room for 110.
That's mad. Yeah.
Mate, it was like being a DFS. And it was tough. It was really, really tough. And but I remember one of the guys that was doing the door saying, mate, it doesn't seem to bother you. I said, mate, this bothers me. This is like, when we used to go football and everyone's going, stand your ground. And inside I'm dying. And part of the reason I'm standing my ground is because my legs ain't moving.
Yeah.
But it's that thing of it comes back to that thing of fronting it out, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then more recently, I must admit, I was not surprised, but how well you took to life on the ocean waves. What happened there?
With what?
With the cruise ships. How did that come about? What happened?
You know what? Yeah. Okay, so Marilyn, who used to work for Jongleurs,
wonderful woman, yeah.
Amazing. She's done so much for me. And anytime opportunities come up, she always like, oh, Kane, do you want to try this? So she got me into some military gigs as well. And she said, Kev Hawkins, another great comic, he said, oh yeah, would you be interested in cruises? So I was like, at first, in my mind, what cruises kind of like old white people that are not gonna get me at all. So I was reluctant at first. She's like, no, some of them are young, blah blah blah, whatever. So I said, all right, let me put a couple in. I didn't want to fill my diary with them just to get hate. And if I'm being honest, the first one I did was super old. Like super old. I know everybody didn't make it back to shore. I know that much.
Yeah.
It was one of those ones. Like it was mad. It was like we were going out to battle. This was the Battle of Hastings. There was no way everybody was going home to their families. So we went, and I remember, I think my first show actually, which is always the worst night on cruise ships, which is tuxedo night.
Oh, formal night.
Oh my God. So everybody dresses up formal. Everyone's in their little penguin suit. The women are dressed up in their glitter and stuff like that with their corns showing in their open toe shoes. And you go on. So remember, people are sitting down for proper dinner now. It's not just they're just grabbing something from one of them. They want to sit down. They're having a proper meal. So it's, you know, people are full or they're hungry before they come to, or when they come to see your show. Then they've got their suit on. So, you know, when you've got certain clothes on, you act different. You're not receptive to certain things. And I remember we were going through the Bay of Biscay.
Brilliant.
Oh, mate. Oh, my. John, mate. I said to myself, after that, I said, I will never do any more gigs. It was, even crew were being sick. Guests obviously were being sick. I was gone. This is the first time I've been on a cruise ship, and the boat was doing this. It was rocking in 4 different directions at the same time. I was like, oh my God. They cancelled the main show in the main theater. That's how rocky it was. But they let me do it. So that was at the front of the ship. I was at the back of the ship.
Oh, good. Nice.
Yeah. Which is a bit better, but it's still, you still get it.
Yeah.
So I couldn't keep still. They're in their tuxedos. The sound wasn't great. The lighting obviously wasn't. It was in one spot, so I felt like I couldn't move. They'd set up too far away from the audience. I was like, oh my Lord. And you got another 7 days with these people.
Yes.
So I was like, I ain't staying here. To be fair, I scraped through. Then the next day it got better and better, and I got more used to it. But it was still an old ship, and I was just like, you know, I'm not doing this anymore. That's what I said to myself. Spoke to Marilyn. She said, look, listen, don't worry. I'll get you on some younger ones, whatever. Went out to America, been Australia, been all across the Med. And yeah, there have been some really good ones where they've got like nightclubs on there, and, you know, it's younger people.
Yeah. Makes a difference.
Yeah, it makes a huge, huge difference. But I will be honest, I don't feel like it makes you a better comic in some ways, because you're in front of people that have never ever seen you.
No idea what's going on.
Nothing at all. They don't even, some of them are not even into comedy.
Nope.
They're just there because it's in the program. And someone said, oh, look, there's something going on at 7:30, let's go in there. And so you learn to kind of pull it out of people. And you have to work hard on the cruise ships because, you know, it's like, rumors spread.
Gosh, mate, I've had some of my most spectacular deaths on ships, man. Once I went out, first night, black tie night, formal night, and I'll start the show, bit of music, I walk on stage, big round of applause. No, just a half-hearted round of applause. Then I said, hey, guys, it's really nice. What a great ship. We're all having a good time. Yeah. Can I have a round of applause for the crew, for the staff serving the drinks, doing a brilliant job. Bit of music, please. Then they play a bit of Bhangra, and the staff do this, and one guy, I said, mate, you're not clapping. He went, what am I clapping for? So we'll just, you know, say thank you to the staff. He goes, what, for doing their jobs? Do we have to clap everyone just for doing their jobs?
Oh,
I said, I don't know, what do we all think? And most of the audience were like, and that was it. And the next 27 minutes, I felt like a dentist trying to pull a tooth out of a dog that was rabid. They just were not having it, right? But then, second show, round of applause to the staff, up on their feet, euphoric clapping.
Oh, wow. This is what I mean.
You don't know what's going on.
No, you don't. And so much depends. Remember, when you're on land, people have specifically come out.
Yeah.
Comedy show. They've invested. They've come in the venue, and so now we put some effort into it. We've travelled all the way down there. We've paid to come in. On cruise ships, it's included. Who respects buffet on the cruise ship? No one, because you've already paid for it. You don't
just
respect
pile out the plates. Second cruise ship I ever did in my life. Music starts. Please welcome on stage, John Ryan. By the time I got to the microphone, there was 12 kids who had they had learning difficulties or some sort of special needs dancing. Then I took the microphone and I said, good evening, and they carry on dancing. And now it's getting a bit awkward because there's like 350 people in this room with these 12 kids. You know, what am I meant to say? I said, can we have a little round of applause for these kids here who are showing us what life is all about? Whenever you get a chance to dance in life, dance. Yeah. Because if you want to sit down, in a little while, at the end, we'll do a song, put some music on. You guys can be my dancers. Would you like that? And everyone was like, yay. For our next 30 minutes, virtually every minute, all I heard was, can we dance yet? I'm like, soon, right? Anyway, I got through it. People coming up going to me, you handled that so well. You were so nice to them kids, blah, 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 blah. Do the second show. Second show is just great. After the second show, a woman came up to me and said, "I liked your show, but we were told at the first show you had some kids dancing. Why didn't we have them at the second show?" And then went to the crew's office and said, "He's done 2 different shows because you'll do the same show."
Oh my God.
Mate, you're up against it in all kind of directions. But how do you stay strong though? 7 days at sea in a cabin. What'd you do? How'd you get through it?
I'll be honest with you. My thing, I'm really sorry, mate. One of the things I have to do is eat. I have to eat. That's my thing. Food is, my well-being has to be good. So I have to eat, sleep, and get a bit of sun, maybe if there's some sun out, and go to the gym. Once I've done those things, I'm quite good. I don't have to speak, because when you do good, everyone wants to speak to you. And they want to tell you their whole family story. They want to sit you that you want to, mate, if you can't go from one place to the next. So I usually used to stay in my room a lot. So I'd eat or go gym, go back to my room, read a book, and kind of just have my own space, you know, or go down into the staff canteen sometimes if you're allowed.
Yeah.
You know? And then
you're allowed.
Yeah, you don't have to, because it drives you mad. And when remember, it's old people as well, some of them, they're telling you the same stories over. You're like, I heard it, Albert. You told me this 4 times. You told me this. What? You told me this morning. It's this afternoon. It's mad. So
one of the things that because I have a routine: get up, make bed, go get breakfast, take a walk around, get some air. You know, sea days, especially if you do like a crossing, 8 days at sea. Right?
Yeah.
But where it does get interesting, I did mention this on the show a couple of weeks ago. I was on with a guy who'd won like Britain's Got Talent or one of them kind of programs. Really excited. We flew from Germany out to Dominican Republic. We had 2 days in a 5-star hotel, all inclusive. He's having a holiday, great time. First night on the ship, he's having a great time. On the third morning, I see him like this on deck. I said, "What's up?" He said, "I can't cope. Can't do it." I'm like, "What?" Okay, how'd you do this? I said, "Have you done your show yet?" He went, "My show's not till Friday. I want to go home." I went, "Mate, you don't understand. You've worked for this. You thought you'd made it when you got this, right? You're 20 minutes on this. No, you can't be like this. If the passengers see you like this, they'll put it on their show report. They'll put what spoiled your holiday. The miserable entertainer.
Yeah.
You're like a puppet from the moment you get on that plane or on that.
You work, and that's the thing. But the money is all right, but I don't think it's worth it for everything that you got to do when you take everything into account. If there's so much. If you're doing it properly, if you're doing everybody is stopping, you're taking pictures, you're remembering stories of people. Hey, Jane, you okay? How's Rob? Is he all right? He's feeling better? You're doing all of that. You're doing everything. They're coming up to you. They're talking. Also, how did you get into comedy? Oh, there. And then everybody asks you the same questions as well. Then they're telling their stupid jokes, and you got to laugh along and kind of be part of their holiday.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I got good friends that I met in 2005 in Grenada on their holiday, the honeymoon, and I was there. And even now, when I'm meeting with their friends, they're like, "Oh, you guys met on a holiday?" I'm like, "No, I was working." I was, like, okay. And then the other one you get, it's really difficult, is we saw you last year. You got a different show, didn't you? Like, what? You think I can write an hour and a half in a year? What? Like, this stuff works. That's why I do it. It's like,
they don't get it.
Shocking.
They don't get it. And that's one of the things that, and I'll be honest, I feel like sometimes I feel like I sell myself short on a cruise ship, because it's like people coming to see me for free. Because whether I was there or not, you was going to see the show or not, or it didn't matter. Whereas on land, someone's invested. You've put some effort into coming. And I kind of feel a bit cheapened. That's my own personal preference. And it's not, I appreciate the gigs because they pay all right.
And you had to see places you never would have seen.
Yeah, of course. You know, I went Santorini. I've been Santorini a few times, which I probably might not have gone to. You know, I've done Australia quite a few times. America. So yeah, there's places I've been to that I wouldn't have gone to. But look, when we on dock days, be honest, everybody gets off for 2 hours, walk around, lunchtime, everyone's back on the ship.
Yeah, don't even stop at the local culture.
I ain't spending £12 on an ice cream and it's not even a waffle cone. I ain't doing it.
No, I can see that.
So you get. I do something.
No, I know
But they don't.
that mentality. No, they don't. They're not interested in the car. Listen, you want to see? Have you done the Caribbean cruises?
Not yet. I've been offered them, but I didn't take them. They were at
When
Christmas.
that's when you learn. That is when you learn, right? When you see British holidaymakers going, well, there's nothing here, right? There's nothing here. And I'll go on stage and I'll go, did anyone go get off today in like Dominica? Yeah, did you notice there's nothing there? Go, yeah, you know why? Because when they was building the place, they never thought about tourists 500 years from now. They're just trying to work people to death to make sugar.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
You'll get a third of the audience go, hey, then you have other people looking at their feet. And then you get like a showman going, yeah, can you not do that? We don't like to mention them kind of things.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing of all when you go Caribbean is when you see black British people who've never been Caribbean in their life, and they're like, yeah, I'm going home. I'm going back to where I come from, where I belong. And you see, I'm like, yeah, but you're wearing sun cream. I don't need no sun cream. I've got black skin, mate. And then you see them getting burned to crisp, lining up outside the medical centre, lining up. I always keep my bottle of sun cream with me. I'm like, here you go, bruv. You might want to use that. You're taking a mickey now, ain't you? I'm like, all right, you'll see.
No, you got to use sun cream. You got to use it, black or not. You have to use it.
Yep. And that's that thing of then, like, I'll come up to him and I'll say it. Like, you know me well enough to know I'll just come out with it.
Yeah.
But it's really difficult, I think, a lot of the time when you get black performers on the ships. And the passengers, then you got to remember, these are the people that didn't want you here a lot of the time, and now they've been entertained by you, right? There's a woman, she's hilarious. I can't remember what her name is. She's a Tina Turner act. And people go up to her and they kind of want to start a conversation. And there you go. Are you the Tina Turner act? You're like, no, I'm Kylie. Oh, sorry. They can't even go, no, you're not. You're Tina Turner. You're a black girl, aren't you?
Yeah. But yeah, it's mad. But you do get that type of person on the cruise ships, though. They're a little bit. You can tell they've not been around a lot of things. Like the cruises, a lot of them, they go on the cruises not to experience different things. They like being on the cruise.
Yeah.
They like the cruise. They're not saying, I cannot wait to get off to go and see XYZ and have some local culture. That's not what necessarily they're for. They put their foot on the ground for 2 hours, walk around, bit of shopping,
tick,
come back. Yeah, and that's done. Then they're like, I've been. Oh, it was lovely. It was in Greece. It was. What did you do? Oh, I had the gyros. Is that it?
Yeah.
Or that you go to Turkey and you go to the market and buy a fake Louis Vuitton bag. That's a holiday.
Yeah, that's it. My favourite, of course, is have you been on the Armenian? Yeah. Have you been on the Spaniola? Yeah. Have you been on the Cubeloa? No. That's a lovely ship.
Yeah,
and it's like this. But mate, because it's only in talking to you, I think you're actually aware of how much you've done. Because more recently, I turned on Netflix and there's your grinning mush looking at me. What's with the filming? Where's the movie stardom come from?
Do you know what's mad? It kind of came from nowhere.
So tell me about the film. What's the film called? Come on, sell the film.
Film which is on Amazon Prime.
And what's it called?
She's the One.
And it's free now, isn't it?
Free, so you can watch it.
I know.
Yeah. So you can go in there and see me naked, half naked.
I think the world of you, mate, but not £9.99 worth.
It was free, bro. And it wasn't. It might have been £9.99 at one point.
It was. I was looking at it one night. Me and Tash was going, but it's Kane, She went, when it comes down to about $4.99, we'll do it. But no, $9.99. That's Hollywood blockbuster, mate. That's guaranteed.
I'll be honest with you. I don't blame you. £10 is a lot of money in this day and age.
In this day and age, with 10 of us watching it.
Yeah, everyone chipping £1.
I'm even going on pirate sites trying to find it for free, but even they can't afford the £10. That's how bad it was.
So yeah.
Tell us about the film. How it came out. What was your role in it?
So basically, I did the film probably 2 years ago, and a guy called Freddie Nwaka. He's done quite a few films. Well, he's done probably about 9 films before. I think this was his 5th or 4th. I think this is his 4th feature film. It's a feature-length film. And he asked me if I wanted to be a lead in it. I did one of his other films before. I played a bit part. He's like, oh, I like, and we got on really well. I knew him from before anyway. And he said, look, I've got this idea. I've written this film and blah, blah. I was like, okay, interesting. And obviously, you act when you're a comedian, but you're not acting because it's my words.
Yeah.
It's my words. I know where I'm going with it. I know what to do with it. And so he's asked me, and I did a read through of the script. I was like, okay, because it's basically a black rom-com with 2 black leads, which you never see in England. You only see it in America.
But there was also a couple of white guys had quite influential roles in it, big roles in it.
Yeah.
But what I did notice about them 2 white guys was that one of them, he wasn't me. What happened?
Sorry, bro. What it was, there was an age limit on it. We wanted it to be young and hip, John. I'm sorry, man. I love you.
I got look at my t-shirt. This says young
and hip. The 2 have to be combined. And unfortunately, an Irish guy with glasses,
mate, ain't gonna work, innit? Ain't gonna work.
It weren't the one. It was sorry. You're lovely.
It's my physiog. It's always my physiog, mate.
I know.
I always look like the kid at school that used to give you trouble.
Yes.
I'm like,
yeah, we could have cast you in it, but like not for the main role. You know what I mean?
I could have been like one of the racists or something like that, or one of the,
you know, in with one of them. Do you know what I mean?
One of the thugs, one of the burglars.
Yes.
Do you know? Whenever on the rare occasions I do acting, I always get either the role of ex guy who's been in prison. I was football hooligan a couple of times, and heroin addict. And I said to him, "How come a heroin addict? They're all skinny." He went, "Yeah, but they start off fat." I'm like, "Okay, well, yeah. So we'll kill you off before you get to the skinny stage."
You just dipped your toe in the heroin addiction. You just started. Yeah.
Just a little sniff,
2 weeks ago, you started.
So when the film came out, how did you feel? Did you feel like when you were on the side of buses and on like posters and?
Thing was, I did Man Like Mobean as well with Guz.
Yeah.
So that was good. So yeah, and that's on Netflix and that's on BBC Three. That's on BBC as well. And so, but this film, what's weird is sometimes you don't know how far a film's gonna go. You don't know if it's definitely destined to get somewhere.
Yeah.
So when you're doing it, and remember, a year and a bit had passed already anyway since I'd finished filming it. So it wasn't like it was in my memory, like, oh yeah, it's coming out next week. It was, all right, I've done that. And then he was like saying to me, oh yeah, guess what? We're on. First of all, it was on all the platforms like iTunes, blah blah blah, and all the other streaming platforms. Then it went on to, it was on Amazon, but not free. You had to pay for it. And then because we had decent numbers with the viewers, and we were getting decent reviews, it went up. And they said, look, we'll put it up on Prime. So it's free. Amazon Prime, it's free to watch. So go and watch it. It's called She's the One.
She's the One.
She's the One. And it's me kissing woman, like you see the side profile.
Was it you? Was it a body double?
It was me, bro. It was me.
Was it her? Was it a body double?
It was a you would have loved
She was the one.
This is the thing. You would have done it. I bet now you wish you were black now. I know it.
Mate, I couldn't. I wouldn't last, mate. I wouldn't last a day if I was a black man. I would be one of them ones getting shot, beat up by the police. Like, where you going? You can't do that to me.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't happen. Wouldn't happen. Have you got anything coming up that you want to quickly tell us about before we?
Just follow me on Instagram, Kane Brown Comedy, which is Kane_Brown_comedy. And I'll have up there what I'm doing. I'm doing funny enough, I'm doing a festival next month or the month after with Fat Joe and a few other people.
Okay.
That should be good. But I've got loads of gigs, but just message me. I'll let you know what area I'm in.
Brilliant, mate. Put a link on my Facebook page. I'll put a message on the comment section here as well. Your tips of well-being then are just about going to the gym and eating, seems to be to me.
Yeah. All right.
I could do half of that.
You could what?
I could do half of that. Going to the gym and eating. I could do one of them. Come on.
But watch this though. But all right, this is my thing though, yeah, John. Is I take care of myself because I look after everybody else, my kids and family. Yeah. I make sure that I'm good first. It's weird, but you've got to be selfish first to be able to give. So what you can't do is just be out there giving all the time. If you're not getting sleep, if you're not eating properly, if you're not exercising and you're not feeling in good health, how can you help everybody else? So my missus always says to me, oh, you're always eating first, you always do that. And it's like, yeah, but I got to eat because then I can help. Let me eat first and then I'm good. If I don't eat, I'm no good. And so I think everybody needs to be a little bit selfish, just a little bit.
That's good. Self-love, that's good. I like that as a tip, man. Mate, I really appreciate it. It's great to see you and talk to you while I still can before Hollywood snaps you up.
Yeah, bro. You ain't got.
you-
I've got another couple coming up, but
You might want like a little runner or something like that, or a little heroin addict that could be in one of these
yeah,
films.
I'll cast you for that.
Listen, mate, you take care, stay safe, love to you and the family, yeah?
Very much, John.
You're right then. All the best. Well, that's Kane Brown, everybody. Thank you very much, Kane, for coming. It's always interesting for me to see how comedy can lead to other things. So, like Kane saying that, about his childhood, very honest about his relationship with his father, very honest about putting himself first and about the need to care for ourselves. And it does strike me as an interesting comment that he made, because we've brought up to believe that being selfish is not a good thing. And yet, if we're not selfish, who's going to look after us? If you're not putting yourself first, how can you expect anyone else to? And I guess one of his tips there about going to the gym, it's not just about the fact that you're going to the gym to exercise. It's also about the fact that in going to the gym, you're doing something for you. What I'd like everyone listening to think about is, what are you doing for you? What are you going to do for you this week? What are you going to do for you tomorrow? When do you actually stop and go, you know what? I'm going to have some me time. It might be a bath. It might be you watch your favorite film. It might be anything. Read a book. Russ Kane's book would be a good book to read. Let me recommend that to you, of course. But do something for you and don't feel bad, embarrassed, ashamed, or guilty for doing it. Because, you spend a lot of time on your own. So you've got to like yourself and be comfortable with yourself. If people are struggling, and let's be honest, there are a lot of people out there who have had a very, very difficult time, especially over the last 18 months, ask what you can do to help them. Don't say I'm here for you, because very often if people are in trouble, they can't reach out to you. Be there for them. Be in their face. Say, look, if you're not heard from a mate for a while, reach out to them. And especially for the guys, or however you define yourself, get yourself, if you've got a mate you don't heard from him, pick up the phone, send him a message, ring them. Don't let them feel that they're on their own, because very often when people have a mental health problem, and it could be any of us at any stage, they go through it on their own. They think they're on their own. They think that nobody cares for them. And this reinforces itself. They become isolated. So it's really important that we all try to at least take the time to just make one call this week to someone you haven't spoken to in quite some time. There are places you can go to get help. I mean, I'm not going to signpost you to everywhere, but the mensradiostation.com has a lot of information on there where you can go if you need help or if you're worried about someone. If you just even think about Mind, M-I-N-D, and Time for Change, them two organizations are phenomenal. If you want to contact me independently through Twitter at Comedy John Ryan, I will happily refer you or signpost you to anywhere where I think you may be able to get help. But it's just really important that you don't feel that you're on your own. There are people who have got serious problems, and let's hope they can get help. But I'm talking about people who are struggling right now. Maybe you're feeling a bit down, a bit flat. You're fed up with lockdown. You're fed up with whatever. If you don't get a grip on that and get a handle on it, it can easily get out of hand. It's really important that you take care of your physical health, because your physical health is linked to your mental health. As Kane pointed out, he goes to the gym. Go for a walk. Do something. But when you go for that walk, just enjoy it and don't feel bad because you're taking time out of your day. Maybe you should be doing something else. Maybe you feel that all your friends are doing better than you or whatever. Put yourself first, because if you don't put yourself first, nobody else will. One of the things about health in general is quite simple. It's always explained to me. Health is like money. You will never appreciate your health and your money until it's gone. People spend their lives accumulating wealth, then spend it all trying to get their health back, and you'll never be as healthy as you are at the start of it. I appreciate the fact that you guys have come along and listened. If you're listening to a repeat or on SoundCloud, thank you very much for taking the time to listen to us. Please stay safe and have a great week. We'll see you next Monday night. Well, that's the end of another episode of Reading the Signs with me, Comedy John Ryan. We're here every Monday night at 7 p.m. talking with comedians about mental wellness, mental well-being, and just trying to get the conversation going. What we're trying to do is show that it's good to talk, and we're also trying to show that everybody can go through the same experiences. A massive thank you to the WJ Group who sponsored the show, showing their commitment not just to mental well-being, but also to reaching as broad an audience as possible. It's great to be part of the mensradiostation.com family, so do check us out on the website, on social media. We'll be back next Monday. You take care. Stay safe, everybody.